Now in this video I just want to talk about the menus that we've got up here, and I really want to talk about the history of it. So the current version of Excel that we're using in this course is Excel 2019. Before that, Excel 2016, 2013, 2010, 2007, and we could start going all the way back to Excel version 2. There was never a version 1 for Microsoft DOS or Windows, it started at version 2. And it had a certain number of features. And then it went to version 3, 4, 5, 95, 97, 2000, 2002, 2003. And in each one of these versions, more commands were being added to the menu system. And the menu structure was getting very, very complicated. And you really did have to be an expert to know where a certain item was hiding. So then Microsoft did something a bit revolutionary. In Excel 2007, and it's not just Excel, Word, PowerPoint, the Microsoft people decided to throw out completely the old style menu structure and put in a completely new one. And that was a fairly controversial measure at the time, and a lot of people didn't like it because they had worked out where everything is. But the new system allows for much better grouping and more intelligent grouping by Microsoft of these particular menu items. So here is the result that we've got. So it starts off with the home menu. Now home, we've got things like the clipboard, so copy, paste, cut. We've got fonts, alignments, numbers, styles, cells and editing. And we'll be using quite a lot of these as we go along. Now I just also want to point out this little search. This allows you to click inside it and say, I want to find a particular thing. So if I start typing the word colour, you can see fill colour and font colour come up. And it could be that that's exactly what you want to find. So if I click in colour, you can see that this gives me the same sort of menu item as I had if I was clicking all the way over here. Now I also want to point out this little icon just here. These are the settings, and if I click on that, we will get either a dialog box like we have here, or a pane on the right hand side coming up. And there's lots of different options in here. Not necessarily every option, but certainly a huge number. Now we've also got buttons, like for instance the paste button. So if I just activate the paste button, you can see that it is two separate buttons, just like this one has two separate buttons. We have an item at the top which does something, and then we have a drop down item which gives access to more items, and we have a dot gives access to a dialog box. So if I just press cancel out of that. Now when you hover over an item, you get a tooltip, and this gives you some information about the particular button that you are looking at. Now these menus are designed to be adaptive based on how much resolution you've got on the screen. I'm recording this at something called 720p. 1280 by 720. It's not necessarily a huge screen resolution, but I know people will be using this on laptops which have got fairly small resolutions. And so what happens is that things get compacted together. So if I had even more resolution space, then I might see things which are currently on top of each other side by side. But if I was to reduce the amount of space, then you can see that things get collapsed or put on top of each other. So you'll still see every item, but now all you see are icons. And it keeps getting smaller and smaller, but it still gives me all of the available information. And then eventually it just collapses each set of items into a drop down. From there you can get to the entirety of the menu. It's rather clever. Now we've got home, insert, page layout, formulas, data, review and view. There are others which you may or may not have, don't worry about them. Now if I click inside here, we've also got something called Table Tools Design, and that's because I'm in something called a table. Well, we'll be looking at tables in level 4 of this course. So I'm inside a table, but as soon as I click outside the table, that new menu disappears. If I was to go to a graphic, so here we have a graphic up here and I click on this, you'll see Picture Tools Format appears. And there are new options in there. So basically, don't assume that what you can see on the screen in terms of your options is everything that you can get for a particular item until you click on that item. And I'll be going through all of these various menu items as part of this course, little by little. So home is where you have got your most frequently used item. Insert is all about adding new objects. So for instance, charts or graphs. You've got sparklines elsewhere. Page layout is all about how an item prints. Formulas could help on individual formulas and also finding out any errors. Data allows you to insert additional data from other sources, fairly advanced some of this stuff, and allows you to group and ungroup. We'll be doing that in this course. Review, we've got spelling and comments and also protecting sheets and allowing other people to use your workbook. Usually workbooks are only used by one person at a time, or at least editable by one person at a time. And then view allows you to see, instead of page layout, which is how it prints, view is how it looks to you on screen. And these are the basic topics that you've got all grouped together. So when there are new things, then for instance, if you have a new icon for pivot tables, then Microsoft can put it into the right section without adding too many new icons, without pushing other icons out of the way. So you can go to the old section, insert pivot tables. Oh, there's a new icon. That might be a good option for me. And as we go through the course, you'll get a better idea of what each of these menu headings do. So just bear in mind that you have some dialog boxes available from some. You also have split boxes, one of which does the default and one which does additional options. And then you also have these settings dialog boxes, which gives you yet more settings you can change.